Hi, Cole here again. Just want to say I fucking hate the summer weather, but I can record with natural lighting, which is like super awesome. So the video I wanted to get into today, it's kind of unscripted. It's kind of just like off the top of my head, but it's something that is on my mind recently. And it's about Dungeons and Dragons. Now, if you've never played Dungeons and Dragons, this might be like a weird video to you, but trust me, it's an interesting conversation, and also Dungeons and Dragons is really fun. For example, I'm running a campaign right now where one of my characters cut Goatman Paul Rudd, he's half goat, half Paul Rudd, cut him in half with a war pick. Isn't that just the coolest shit you can ever think of? Like I think of like cool shit, and then there's murdering Goatman Paul Rudd with a war pick reminder, and that's the icing on the cake right there. Also, just want to say this. No, government, I didn't plan on killing Paul Rudd. I don't plan on killing Paul Rudd, and I don't think I will ever meet Paul Rudd. So please don't think I'm actually going to murder him. Also, I did steal that joke from one of our campaign players. Just want to say that. Shout out to my cousin Lainey. Haha. So disregarding killing Goatman Paul Rudd, I wanted to talk about something that I think is really interesting about D&D right now. It's been a big discussion on D&D Twitter, which, yes, I am a part of. I don't post anything. I never post anything on Twitter. Still go follow me right here. Right there. But on D&D Twitter, a lot of people have been talking about ableism. Specifically with characters who have magical abilities wanting to cure, quote-unquote, disabled people. And let's just say this. Wanting to cure disabilities is inherently a bad thing. There's no, like, curing disabilities, especially when that's part of someone's identity. It's who they are. So wanting to cure that is a bad way of going about that. Sure, if we got into a conversation right now about, like, genetically modifying stem cells in babies, that would be very weird for this YouTube video, and I don't really feel like getting into that. But with people who already have disabilities and wanting to cure those, that's just really gross and disgusting. Now, you might be wondering, Cole, this is D&D characters. Why should this matter? Well, in D&D, typically people design their own characters. Or, even more so, they design characters after an inner part of themselves that they want to explore further. So let's say a disabled player wants to make a disabled playable character. Now tell me, would it be wrong for the dungeon master who runs the game, or anyone else playing the game, to want to cure this disability of this disabled character? Yeah, no, that's pretty bad, because not only are you taking away from the fact that this person wanted to design a disabled character, but you're also telling this disabled person that there's some magical cure for their disability and it will make them a better version of themselves, which isn't true. People who are disabled are perfectly fine the way they are. They're great. And wanting to hop into a game and then try to tell them, in a world where you can do really anything, want to tell them, hey, guess what? We're going to take away this part of your identity. That's ableist. Okay, I've gone on enough of a rant so far. I want to talk about why specifically I bring this up, and that's from a deleted tweet that I saw just the other day. So the, air quotes, meme that I wanted to talk about today was from @memesdnd, or just D&D memes. Doesn't really matter. They typically steal memes from Reddit, and this one specifically has the caption, "Low effort meme to give me a chance to speak my feelings." And it's good old Lisa Simpson, good old Lisa Simpson, saying, if having your character's disability cured ruins your character, you weren't playing a person, you were playing a caricature. I don't want to have to be the guy to have to explain why that's bad. Explaining off people's disabilities and parts of their identity as being caricatures is already bad enough, but I think this Twitter user really sums it up. If this is meant in a, if you can't even begin to imagine how the character would react to such a huge life-changing event, they're underdeveloped way, I agree. If it's saying disability shouldn't be a core part of a person's identity, fucking yikes. Yeah, that's a big fucking yikes. Eddie Burback bit. Yikes. Now, I did say that this conversation of sorts sparked from this deleted tweet. Yes, it's been deleted. It was up for like a day, and it got deleted probably like right before I started recording this video, knowing my luck. But there were a lot of people who had quote retweeted it, essentially just speaking their mind. And, I mean, honestly, it's a terrible way of looking at Dungeons and Dragons. A fantasy game where you can do pretty much anything, and yes, sure, anything does entail wanting to cure a whole bunch of things in the world. But wanting to cure someone's disability, there's just a line that needs to be drawn there. D&D memes went on to post this as well. This meme saying, this sub discussing gender, accessibility, inclusion, and sexuality in their games. And it's supposed to be like all sunshines and rainbows, like it's all nice and sweet. And then there's another one of people fighting it all out saying, this sub discussing the survival prospects of goblins, kobolds, and or orphans in their games. And everyone's fighting over it. Pretty much just them saving face, which is whatever. But I think Jeff the Greatest, what an ironic name for this. I think they really put it best, saying, I can't help but feel there's a difference between fantasy creatures that don't exist and real people who do exist. And sure, you could spin that and say, well, someone's D&D character doesn't entirely matter. You could just cure their disability, as we keep saying. That's still something that someone created. And taking that and just kind of crumbling it is just not cool. And also, if that person, that crumbled D&D character, if that was made by someone who wanted that to be a distinct part of their identity, that just kind of sucks. Really does suck. Just be a better dungeon master or game master if you're gonna run games like that. Just make people be comfortable at your table, and also let them play as the person they want to play as. I have someone in my campaign right now, one of the characters that I'm playing with, my cousin Lainey actually, is playing this character who's missing one of their eyes and is partially blind. And they use this, it's weird, they use this eye as like they roll it under doors and stuff to like see what's in the next room. Which is kind of smart, but also like I don't think anatomy works like that. But I don't care. And I'm also not going to try to be like, well, that's not how it works. Your eye has to be back in your head. Because that's stupid. They're playing a game. Let them play the game. I think that's really all I wanted to say. I mean, like, I think I went over everything. There were a whole bunch of deleted posts, so I didn't get to say as much as I wanted to, and it's quickly getting darker outside right now. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to wrap things up. Last thing I just wanted to talk about, I also went back when I was doing research, and I saw a lot of people talking about how D&D's not ableist. And it's not an ableist game. As long as you make it not an ableist game. It's truly in the hands of the Dungeon Master, or the Game Master, and also the people who play at your table. So just make sure everyone's comfortable playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that's pretty much all I can say. Anyways, as the light slowly fades on me, and I'm trapped in this hellhole dungeon that will probably result in me dying and never being revived, failing my death saving rolls, I bid you all adieu. Also, gonna start streaming on Twitch soon. Here's my Twitch. Go follow it, please. That'd be awesome, actually. Go do that. And also, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment some cool stuff, because I've been getting some mean comments on my Sigma Males video. And that's sad. Anyways, I will catch you on the flip side, skaters. Peace. Cole, put in a meme here about an alignment chart and put me down at chaotic evil, or chaotic neutral, or chaotic good even. Put me in all of the chaotic ones. The chaotic ones are over here. Dumbass. Jesus. Oh my god. It's like this kid is fucking stupid. Like he's never fucking played D&D in his life. Which is technically true.